Long before cities, before farms, before the first written word, the world lay locked in ice. Great white plains stretched to every horizon, and the wind carried a cold that could kill a grown man between one breath and the next. In this frozen world lived a people, not so different from us. They grieved. They buried their dead with flowers and cared for their sick. We call them the Neanderthals, and this is the story of one small boy among them whose name was Or. Or was not the strongest child of his clan. His arms were thin, his legs were short. The great hunters towered over him like the boulders of the valley. When the men left to chase the mammoth and the woolly rhino, they told Or to stay behind with the mothers and the very old. But Or had a gift the others did not prize. He watched. Where the hunters saw only snow, Or saw the tracks beneath it. Where they heard only wind, Or heard the shifting of the herd far away. He learned the land the way the others learned. Where they heard only wind, Or heard the shifting of the herd. That winter came early, and it came hungry. The great herds that fed the clan. At winter came day, the hunters walked out into the white and came back with empty hands and frostbitten faces. The children began to cry from an emptiness in their bellies that sleep could not cure. Grail was the eldest hunter, broad as a bear, his beard gray with the frost of many winters. He had led the clan since before Or was born, and he knew only one way, the old way. Find the beast, face it, drive the spear into its heart, though it cost blood and bone to do so. But the old way was failing. 2 hunters had already fallen, one gored by a rhino, another lost beneath the ice. And still Grail refused to change. Pride is a heavy pelt to carry, and he had worn it all his life. Or saw what the elders would not. He had watched the reindeer for many days, and he understood something. The herds no longer crossed the open plain where the hunters waited. They had turned toward the narrow valley in the east, sheltering from the wind between 2 walls of stone. When Or tried to speak, Grail laughed, and the laughter of the strong is a cruel thing to a small boy. The plain has fed us since my father's father, the old hunter said. A child does not teach the hunt. And Or fell silent, and swallowed his knowing, and went hungry with the rest. Then the great storm came. The sky turned the color of ash. The snow fell so thick that a man could not see his own hand before his face. The clan huddled in their cave as the wind screamed like a wounded animal at the mouth of the world. For 3 days and 3 nights the storm did not break. The last of the dried meat was gone. The fire burned low, and Or sat beside his tired little sister. Watching her, something hardened inside his small chest. He understood, then, that waiting for the strong to save them would save no one. So while the clan slept, Orr took a torch of burning pitch pine and he slipped out into the dying storm. His mother, Sailor, woke to find him gone, and her cry brought the whole clan stumbling into the cold behind him. Not across the killing plain, but along the base of the cliffs where the wind was weakest. The hunters followed a child now, because a child was the only one who knew the way, and Grail, humbled, came last of all. They reached the narrow valley as the first grey light broke. And there, sheltering between the two walls of stone, exactly as Orr had said, was the herd. Reindeer, huddled and slow with cold, trapped by the very snow that had nearly killed the clan. But Orr did not tell them to charge, as Grail always had. He remembered the fire. The herd could not flee, and now even the smallest hunter could stand against the strongest beast. That day the clan ate. That day the children stopped crying. And that day old Grail knelt in the snow before a thin-armed boy and pressed his forehead to Orr's.
"I saw only strength," the old man said. "You saw the world as it truly is."
The clan will listen to the one who watches.
Orr grew, and he taught his children to watch as he had watched, and they taught theirs.
And though the great ice would one day melt, the Neanderthals would fade into the long silence of the past. But they were never the brutes that later tales would name them. They were a people who loved their children, who honored their elders, who buried their dead with tenderness. They understood, in the deepest cold the world has ever known, that survival belongs not only to the strongest arm, but to the watchful eye, the patient mind, and the hand that reaches out to lift another. And that, perhaps, is the oldest lesson of all. Older than kings, older than cities, older than the written word. Carried to us across 100,000 winters, on the cold wind of the age of ice.